Ah, Egon. Pleasure to see you. Do come in. How are you doing? Ah, that's great. No, I'm good, thank you. Please, lay down. Just here. There you go. Lay down and just close your eyes for me. Now, our mutual friend Max Oppenheimer speaks very highly of you, you know. And he suggested I should invite you to my office for a little light conversation. Please, there's no need to be formal with me. You don't need to call me Mr. Freud. You can call me Sigmund. Now lay down and close your eyes. Now, I must confess I was quite taken aback by some of your pictures which I saw at the Folkwang Museum during a recent visit to Hagen. You don't mind if I smoke, do you? Now you depict nude men, women, boys and girls in a manner I have never seen before. It's quite astonishing. And I remarked to Max Oppenheimer that I would be very interested to probe a little deeper into what makes you draw the way you draw and paint the way you paint. So Max told me you were born in Tulln, just outside Vienna, on the 12th of June 1890. Is that right? So you're a Gemini then? That explains a lot. And I hear that you were close to your father, Adolf. Is that correct? I see. Now what was his profession? A station master. I see. I imagine you must have enjoyed painting lots of trains as a child then. And did you enjoy reading books as a child, Egon? What sort of books? Scientific books and travel literature. I suppose that was a lot to do with your father wanting you to follow in his footsteps. Judging by your pictures I saw in Hagen, I suspect all the rendering of trains and designs you did as a child gave you an excellent technical grasp of representation. And if I may ask, Egon, when did your father die? The 31st of December 1904. So you were turning 15. I imagine that must have been a very difficult period for you and your family. Is this the reason why throughout your life you have always sought a strong father figure? I mean, Klimt especially was someone you looked up to and confided in, wasn't he? I saw the drawing you made of him on his deathbed and read your beautiful obituary. Gustav Klimt, an artist of incredible perfection, a man of rare depth, his work was sacred. You met Klimt in 1908, 4 years after your father passed, didn't you? That's interesting. Is it true that you turned up one day to his studio with a portfolio of his works and presented it to him? You cheeky devil. You asked, "Hab ich Talent? Do I have talent?" And he replied, "Viel zu viel. Much too much." That's crazy. Das ist wunderschön, Egon. Wirklich. I'm curious to know, in some of your nude self-portraits, the boundaries between the masculinity and femininity are blurred. Did you purposely pursue an androgynous aesthetic? Ah, okay. And besides Gustav Klimt, which other artists do you particularly admire? Vincent van Gogh, you say? Now, if you weren't an artist, what would you be? Dead. Well, that's dark. Where do you see yourself on the flower path at 60, Egon? And in 1912 you painted a picture of a cardinal and a nun caressing. Were you deliberately trying to provoke your contemporaries, or...? Right, okay, I see. Now, my good friend Arthur Rosler, who you also know, described you as an untiring worker, a draftsman and a virtuoso. He said your accurate pencil strokes flowed from your wrists and that you always had a pencil in your hand, not only in the studio, but also in open air, on the train, during journeys, and in company during conversation. Is that right? I see. Egon, can I ask you one more question? Will you paint me?